18, but with 5 wins in 5 fights since he turned pro 8 months ago. Well, he fights Liverpool's Franki Moro tonight. He recently went the distance with Gary Stretch and Kirkland Lang, although in his last 13 fights, the referee has ended up raising the other guy's hand. Here it is now in round 1.
Unbeaten Corneluis Carr in the red and white, starting very aggressively, and he finished things very early last time out on seconds out. Took just under 2 minutes to record a very quick victory indeed. Beat Leicester's Darren Parker, and it was the right hand that did the damage then. That was just a couple of weeks ago, and he's quickly back into action. Corneluis Carr, who as a professional, coming towards the end of his first season, has won all 5 and has looked a good prospect. Franki Moro, though, 31-year-old, originally from Ghana, based for the last 4 years in Liverpool. Difficult fighter to get through to, and although his record isn't too impressive, he's been in with some very capable performers, and this could be a good test for the 18-year-old Corneluis Carr. Moro blocking that big left hook very effectively, and with a bit of confidence to launch a few attacks of his own. Always a bit of an opponent, if you like, Franki Moro, and has taken a lot of fights at short notice, and that explains why his record isn't all that special. Corneluis Carr, originally from Middlesbrough. His real name John, and named Cornelius after his dad, now very firmly based in North London. Good shot, that one, from Carr. Best punch of the fight so far. The right hand that caused all the damage in his last fight, and he throwing it at round about the same time as well. But Franki Moro's chin made of sterner stuff than his last opponent. Any early thoughts on this one, John Conti?
Not really, Jim. It's just, I think Franki's ahead on points. He needs to take, Corneluis Carr needs to take the fight to him. Otherwise, he'll just get outboxed.
Well, he's a lot older, what, nearly 13 years older, Franki Moro. A lot more experience with all those fights under his belt against decent opposition. And we've already seen this is going to be a good test for the exciting young prospect Corneluis Carr, and I think we can forgive him taking a first round to fathom his opponent. He got in there with 2 good shots with his left hand. And that's the end of the first of a scheduled 6-rounder. So there is Corneluis Carr with Ernie Fossey. Ernie Fossey in the corner, made his debut on seconds out when we started back in September. Remember it well, he wore down Paul Burton of Sheffield. Just moved to the other corner to wore down Paul Burton of Sheffield, did Corneluis Carr, and referee Jack Snipe stopped it in the 5th. Franki Moro in with Charlie Atkinson. The older of the two there, just blowing very heavily in Franki Moro's air, very much as he used to do with you, John.
Yeah.
Third round then. I suppose every job for Franki Moro is a hard one. Bit of an opponent at the age of 31, but he's acquitted himself pretty well here. Went 5 rounds with that Michael Watson at the Cafe Royal in London, and Watson since then has gone on to leapfrog into world class. And he's been in with the likes of Chris Pyatt, Costas Petru, Kirkland Lang, British champion at Bethnal Green 3 years ago. A very capable Gary Stretch and Rocky Kelly as well. That's Franki Moro, and that gives you an indication of the sort of class that Carr is up against, and that was a good shot from Carr. And a few heads going in there from both of them. But Carr will look to follow that up. That was the punch of the fight, no doubt, in the third round. Couple of minutes, he's got a bit of time to make the most of that, but he's stood back just a little bit, Corneluis Carr, and has allowed Moro to spoil a bit and tie him up again. What do you make of that shot, John? Looked a good one from here.
Yeah, it's a good left hook he hit him there. He's much the harder puncher. He's taking the fight to Moro all the time, which is good, and suits his style, and he's just trying to land a few heavier punches now. Seems to be improving with every round, Carr.
Yes, he does. And just looking at Franki Moro, the mouth dropping open a little bit. He's trying to get on his bike and keep at distance, but even as early as the third round, showing a few signs of fatigue. Good right hand this time, caught Moro. And this has been a good round for the hot prospect Corneluis Carr, the unbeaten 18-year-old. And another good shot too. Took a bit of time to fathom out this very experienced opponent, Carr, but now just about all his work is quality. And there's another. That's 3 good shots, and Franki Moro almost looked as though he turned away and had enough. And I notice Frank Warren, his manager, beckoning Corneluis Carr forward at ringside. And a little warning from referee Mike Heatherwick, probably about the heads, I would imagine, clashing together. And because of that, Franki Moro will probably see this round through. But it's been a good one from Corneluis Carr, who once again has shown what a strong hitter he is with either hand. Just a bit of time added on for the lecture from referee Mike Heatherwick. Good applause for the two fighters after that third round. Certainly the best of the fight. Corneluis Carr still looking very composed in his corner. Last round then, and Franki Moro has been a very capable and a very testing opponent for the unbeaten Corneluis Carr. I've certainly got him pretty well ahead on points, Corneluis Carr, to preserve that unbeaten record. But Franki Moro, have gum shield will travel fighter. Pretty good value here for a good prospect. I suppose from a managerial point of view, John, it's been a good one this for Corneluis Carr, because he's been in with a very experienced fellow who's never really looked capable of hurting him.
Yeah, it's good experience for him, and it'll really help him in the future fights.
I tell you what, I thought they were going to be sitting on top of our monitor down here for a moment then. And this time it's Franki Moro that gets the warning from referee Mike Heatherwick. Bit of wrestling right above us on the ropes. All a bit untidy at the minute. Good body shots. I like the way he varies his point of attack, Carr. And there's a couple more good shots going in, and he's got Moro hurt again in this last round. No question about that. And Moro, again, those long arms reaching in, just trying to tie up Corneluis Carr, and Carr just lacking possibly the know-how just to step back and make the most of his superior strength and punching ability. Got to admire the character, though, of Moro. He's taken a bit of a battering, and he's still still there, still involved. Not a lot coming back, but his professional pride will want him to go the distance now at this stage of things. And Carr realises if he can stop him, it will be a tremendous tick on his record. He's got just 30 seconds to do it now, and it looks as though he's going to run out of time. But he's obviously a very fit fellow as an 18-year-old Carr. It's been a hard fight for him. There's no sign that he isn't strong enough to go the full 6 rounds. Last 10 seconds. And that's it, end of the fight. And Franki Moro goes hopefully towards the referee, but it's Corneluis Carr who gets the verdict. That's all 6 as a professional. 6 out of 6 for Corneluis Carr. It's been a good first season for him. He's had to go the full distance, and I feel he's learnt more in this fight than any other.